Jaina's note taker is joining. Move. Jerry's note taker.
No note
Move.
takers.
Someone should build an app which kicks out note takers on Zoom call
Well, I've thought about it, and you know what? It would probably be not too bad to do.
and create
Especially
publish
if
it
I
in the
set
Zoom
if I
marketplace.
put OpenClaw on it, OpenClaw will get on it and just
Yeah,
tear it up.
yeah,
So yeah.
exactly that.
All right. Just a second. I'm gonna get
Yeah, we got quite a few people on today. Dr. George is on, Jerry's on, John is on after a long time. What's up,
yeah, it's
Anna,
on.
Warren? How's everyone?
Everybody's quiet.
All right then. See ya. No, you got a thumbs up from John. Um, all right, let's open up for any wins. Let's start with that. How about that first?
Yeah. Nobody's got any
Anyone's got any
wins?
wins?
Nobody has any wins.
Yeah, I'll get
No.
it. I got a win.
Cool.
Me
Let's go.
too.
We just signed a contract with a school. We're doing all their automation sequences. So they've got multiple classes throughout the year, and they don't have anything automated. They already have their own GHL account. So it was a referral from somebody else, and now we're going in. We're building out all their automations, the whole nine yards. Um, So it was a $10,000 deal with $800 a month retainer to follow for the next 12 months.
Nice.
Yeah, so it was pretty big win. I was pretty excited about that. So
Super awesome.
How did you find them?
um, I do I do a lot of I work with a bunch of different marketing partners, and somebody had found them on LinkedIn through an ad that they had posted, and made an introduction, like a blind introduction, and then we did a discovery call with the school, and we just clicked, and it kind of was it just kind of fell into place. So so it was a great referral from somebody who saw an ad for somebody looking for a high level admin, somebody to work in their high level account, and thought of me because we did a project for another client, and she just happened to be like a go-to-marketing person that was brought into another client that I was already working with. So yeah,
Interesting.
yeah. So I guess you just never know who's gonna be looking out for you, give you a referral here and there. So
Well, very
That's
cool.
awesome. Congrats, man.
yeah,
That's a good deal.
yeah. Looking forward to it.
Yeah. Good. Dan in the house. Jace joined us as well.
Jay,
I think
you got a
Anna, you
different
said you
background.
had a win.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
let's go.
okay. Um, so it's basically a kind of a big setup fee and 750 a month. So, so that's good. And one of the things, this is why I wanted you to show us the N8N stuff yesterday, Pat, is because I'm kind of trying to figure out which parts I'm going to use HighLevel for and which parts N8N.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean?
Hmm. Yeah.
So, yeah, it's just not clear yet. And we still kind of have to have, like a couple more meetings to build out stuff. But they're an energy company. It's an alternative energy company, and they're going to be doing work with France and Sweden. And so, like
Cool.
compliance documents and all that. I mean, if you think our government is bad, it's nothing compared to Europe.
Right.
So, being able to have AI essentially, I mean, we know enough about AI to know that that doesn't really mean anything, but for them to 24/7 be able to go and get the documents that each department of whatever needs for compliance is a very big deal. Obviously, it's going to have, like the normal appointment setting and this and this and that stuff. But at least we don't predict that's going to be a very big thing because the humans involved are not technologically adept.
Right.
Like if it comes to their iPhone, cool. Otherwise, they're like, I'll have to check my email today or tomorrow. We'll see.
Oh
you
God.
know,
Yeah.
yeah. But they're also traveling a lot, and that's kind of the issue is, if you're traveling, you're now in Sweden and it's 2 in the morning there and it's work time in the US. You know what I mean? And it's like trying to communicate and coordinate all that as far as rules and regulations. And anyway, so it's very interesting. I'm very excited about it.
Cool. Very, very cool. Well, congrats.
Well,
Sounds like
thank
it'll be a
you.
nice little
Awesome.
decent deal.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, there's $55 million at stake, so I'm gonna get some of that 55.
let's go.
Nice.
Let's go. That's a good one. Who else? Anyone else got a win to share? No one?
Anybody?
John,
Anybody?
Dan, Zachary,
Yeah, I
Erich?
got a couple.
A couple. Yeah,
So,
let's go.
um, it's kind of funny too. It was like not this past Saturday, the Saturday before. It was like literally 18 degrees here. We had like 30-mile-an-hour winds. My trash cans are blowing down the street, and I get a text message from this dude named Justin that I reached out to like a year and a half ago for his roofing company. And I sent him some stuff, like a loom video and all that, and he's like, "Hey, you got time for a call?" I'm like, "Yeah, as soon as I'm done chasing trash cans." So he's like, yeah, can we get that review thing kicked off? I'm like, I had to go through like Facebook messages and like all sorts of shit. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, I didn't say that to him. But the dude, it's as interesting. Okay. The dude is doing about 3.5 to $4 million a year in roofing. Okay. With only 42 Google reviews.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Real personable guy, got like a good Instagram presence, good Facebook presence. But he's like, I want to get to 10 million, and I think I need to start paying attention to the reviews.
You think?
I was like, so, but that led into a whole kind of thing. So he signed up for like my basic SaaS package, but pretty confident I'm going to upgrade him to something that I got to put some things together, but something that includes um Aldous. But it was interesting because he showed me all the things that he's got going on. And I don't know, maybe some of the people on this call can help or Jay or whatever. Maybe you guys have thoughts, but all these guys that are, paying for SEO and not getting any local SEO
yeah.
is like, and trying to explain it to this guy, because every now and again he's like, well, that's part of local service ads, right? I was like, no, they have
Oh
nothing to
man.
do with each other. It's like, well, can you run that for me too? I said, sure. It's like basically turn the ad on, plug some zip
It's
codes
not.
in.
It's not.
I have run
It's
local
it's a
service ads for about 15, 20 people, and it pretty much is. All you need to do is
ugh.
occasionally adjust your budget. And, for the tree guys in the storm and the roofers, it's like, okay, is it raining today? Up the budget. Is it
Okay,
windy? Up the
maybe
budget.
maybe it's because I did it for insurance and realtors, and they have a lot of like paperwork and stuff that you have to register with Google to get the ad to run. That was a pain. Once it's
Oh, the
running, it's
registration
fine.
part takes about 5, 6 days now. And for contractors in Pennsylvania, it's basically you got to show your Pennsylvania contractor license. And then for certain categories, like the tree service guys, they have to have
The insurance, right? They have to have proof of some kind of insurance.
not only is it proof, but they have to have a certain amount of coverage, maybe like $1 million
Right.
and whatever.
Yeah.
Same probably with the roofers, but most of them have all that. Anybody that I've ever helped get registered, as long as they have their registration for PA, proof of insurance, driver's license, it's like 6, 7 business days. If that. Google's gotten pretty good at letting that go through. Again, assuming they already have an established Google business profile. If they don't have that, then I don't know. Then maybe it's a whole nother thing. But in doing some of this, like he's telling me what he's paying for SEO and all this different things. So I ran some heat maps and just not even.
I think those guys that when they sell them SEO, those guys sell like national SEO, and it's like the old, okay, we're going to try to rank for these keywords as opposed to let's get your GBP up and running and make it work. Because
That's exactly it. They're
Yeah.
like he was showing me keywords. He's like, they said I'm ranking for this. I'm like, okay, well, I don't know how many people
But the other
search
challenge is
for
like,
it.
okay, well, you're ranking, but who's clicking on your website? Like, what? How much traffic you getting on it? Like,
well, if
my
you're
websites get
actually ranking,
3% of the
because
clicks.
the thing
Yeah,
is those guys that do the keywords and like, hey, here's we're gonna see where you rank, is they're using the API to search for that keyword at that lat long. And if you make it in the top 10, then like, yay, here you go. There's where you're ranking.
yeah,
That's not how Google's going off signals and review velocity and like everything, all the local keywords and all, like basically all your content, all the signals that say that you're in business in that area. So
yeah.
the whole, like, oh, I'm, they're doing SEO. It's like, yeah, I mean, I like back in
Okay,
2000.
how much is he paying for SEO?
The roofer,
Yeah.
about 1,200.
Yeah, so I mean, that company's probably not even really doing any work. And the
I
other thing
looked them
is,
up. I mean, they have, from the outside looking in, it looks like a sexy company. They're national.
but $1,200 is not much, you
Not for a
know?
roofer, that's for sure.
It
No.
is almost nothing. They basically got him on a
What you want
real
to do?
plan,
The
but
other thing
not
that was really revealing is when we sat down, I finally got it to the point where he could log into his Google business profile because he
There
he
you go.
he had all the login. He just couldn't remember
cool.
like what email. And we looked at the performance tab. So from September through February, and again, this is the guy doing like 4 million a year with only 40 some Google reviews. But from September through February, his Google business profile only got 54 phone calls.
Yeah.
I was like, where are you getting all your phone calls from? He's like, friends, family, referrals.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like,
Well,
imagine if you actually had like an online presence.
What you want to do, Dan, is ask him to forward to you one of the quote unquote reports that this company was giving him. Because I know Pat was talking about all the things that Google's actually doing. I ran into so many competitors in the SEO business that weren't doing anything, as Anna said, or you just
that's right.
discovered, and they were just faking reports. Because I
Yeah.
would, I would sell, I would promote Go High Level to my SEO clients, as saying, you need to plug everything into this. That way, whether I'm here or gone tomorrow, or this Google Ads guy who says he's giving you all these leads, you'll have a report thing right there in your dashboard. We can see whether they're coming and whether these people are telling you the truth.
Well, the other part of it too is, and this is kind of why I brought this up. Um, and I don't know what the next year is going to look like as far as SEO, but it would be nice to, maybe get an idea as far as, for these local service, the home service based businesses that aren't, multi-market and multi-location, how important is it for website traditional SEO versus Google Business Profile and try to get them listed on all the LLMs. I know the LLMs is trendy and sexy, but um, it's an interesting conversation because these guys they don't know.
Look, I'm
In
gonna
their
tell you
mind,
one
in their
thing,
mind, it's well, I need SEO because
because everybody's been talking about it for 15 years.
yeah.
I have not met a roofer yet that understands anything about SEO. The last roofer I met with, he was like, Anna, you have to stop showing me these reports because it's like you're hammering a nail into my brain. I do not know what you're talking about.
Well, it should be
And
money in, money out.
yeah, what you've got to do is focus on, because basically for you to get the real budget from him, you have to essentially fire those other people, right? He has to
Yeah.
fire them. But really what you have to prove is that what they're doing, like, yay, they're so wonderful, but what they're doing gets you 3 million with your own efforts, i.e. referrals. What we do, because we're going to do, we can call it whatever, AI SEO or this or that, whatever it is. But when you do X, that's going to get you to 10 million. And this requires, so for you to get to 10 million, that's how much more effort we're going to do to get you what numbers. So I expect this year to increase your business by 22% or whatever you can kind of do. And then I would do a report for him, all frilly and nice in Gamma, and then get him like almost now, like whatever you signed him up for. I'm assuming it's $300 or $900 a month or what? Okay, I can't hear you.
Right now, all we're doing, which is my basic SaaS plan, which is just some automations and reviews. But I think he's going to move over to where I'm going to plug Aldis in. And as far as reports go, there's 4 categories, like business types he wants to be on the map for: roofing, gutters, siding, and well, maybe it's just those 3. And I'm just going to use heat maps and the Google business profile and my tracking number as proof. I'm not even going to go into the fancy reports. And he's not going
Okay,
to fire the web
I didn't,
SEO
I didn't,
company. He's going to
I
keep
didn't say
them.
anything. Yeah, that's a
And
mistake.
I don't think it is.
You think he should keep the SEO company?
I think he can prove it to himself. Once he sees me generating money, he can fire him on his own. I think it'll take 3 months.
Hey, Dan, can I jump in here?
Yeah.
So you don't do SEO, right?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, neither do I. So I do Google Business Profile Optimization. I do get Google reviews, and I do a website concierge with a little thing that pops up. So those are my 3 things, and I do it basically part time because I got a full time sign shop. This guy is a roofer.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's what I would do with this guy. This guy does not want to see reports. He doesn't, and you don't want. I don't think you can go head to head to try to sell against these guys. I would just say to him, listen, you've been paying for SEO for X amount of years. You spent X amount of money on it, and from all we can tell, it's not getting you anything. You're getting all your business from your own stuff. I would put these guys on pause for 3 to 6 months, and I'm the Google expert. Everybody's searching on Google, yada yada yada. Just walk into a room with, like, you gotta just turn your hat around or whatever, and just you got to be the expert walking into the room. I call it BSEO right now, and I actually use Neil Patel. I use some of his shorts, and he goes, SEO is dead. And he's the best digital marketer in the world. And I put that into a little video for them. And I say, watch this. And I play the little blurb. And then he goes on to its search everywhere optimization. That's what you got to do now. And our Google Business Profile Optimization with back-end posts to his YouTube and to his Facebook and to his social media stuff. That's what gets the guy everywhere. And you can do that for $1,000 a month. You'll literally save $200 a month from what you're paying right now, or I'll put it into a big program for you. And I guarantee you in 3 months, you will never be going back to these guys because that is old school.
Yeah, and I'm not even gonna tell him to pause it. You know how a lot of these guys are in that field. They know everything about everything until they realize they don't. So I'm going to, I think, like I said, he knows his local competition, and based on some of the things I think Aldis can do is we can dissect what they're doing on their GBPs and just show them. Like when we looked at the maps, there is so much room for improvement that, and then again, the number of phone calls that are coming organically from the Google profile.
When you when
And
you
then
did
we're going to
the
run some local service ads.
when you did the map, you did just like a general heat map in Aldus, right? For
No, I used Lead Snap.
Oh, okay. So if you does lead snap you calling them along here. Does lead snap show all the competitors or no?
Yeah, it does, and you can click on all
Okay.
their maps,
Okay,
which
because that
is
yeah,
kind of
because
what helps
Aldous
sell the package.
yeah, Aldous does that too. So if he's not showing up, you're like, well, here's the guy that you need to beat, and here's his his map, and it's like bright, everything's bright green. It's like that guy's getting all your business.
Yeah,
Hey, what?
there's one particular guy in the gutter field that I knew was going to dominate like the greater Philadelphia map because the guy's smart. He's got like little satellite storefront offices. But when I showed him that map after showing him his for a couple categories, he's like, "Okay, well, who's got a good map?" And I showed him that one, and everybody knows the company. And he's like, "Okay, I get it now." But
Hey,
back to like what I was saying is kind of like, you know, just other than letting them prove it to themselves, and maybe Jay wants to dive in, like for these guys, is, the local traditional SEO kind of dying?
yeah, why don't you ask him if he's ever had a customer that had a leaky roof and he went out and did a quote, and then the client didn't do the job, and then he called him back 6 months later because he had a worse leaky roof. Tell him a story like that, or get him to just get him to ask a couple of questions like that, because the problem that we're having here is we're trying to convince this guy. He already understands the problem. He just can't relate it to digital marketing. But he understands a leaky roof and a customer that, hey, I gave you a quote 3 months ago and it was 6 grand. Now we've had another windstorm and it's going to be 10 grand and you've got more damage. Try a story like that and say, I'm the guy, I'm the guy who quoted you how to fix this problem. You got to, we talk about the leaky bucket, right? He's got a leaky bucket, but if use the leaky roof story, I'm just trying to give you a good tool. And I find that talking about people's own business makes it relatable.
You mean using his business as the analogy or the metaphor, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Like you got a leaky roof right now. You got a leaky digital profile. I can
Oh,
fix that. SEO has been like putting tarps on your roof and they keep blowing off because obviously SEO isn't working. You tell stories like that, but relate it to exactly what he does, and he goes, "Oh yeah, sometimes my customers are so stupid," and he'll think like that, and then he won't realize that, oh shit, I'm the customer putting a
That's
blue
me.
tarp on my roof, right? Like it's storytelling, guys, and we got to let them get into their own story instead of us trying to convince them with graphs and heat maps. Hey, I've only learned this by experience. Trust me.
well, I don't know. I closed a lot of SEO clients following up after somebody just like what Dan's dealing with. I would use Bright Local and do exactly what Dan did by showing the person, you know, comparative graphs. How's the company you're using right now showing you your progress? And then I'd show them this one, then I'd show them the detailed heat map, which is like in comparison, it's just obvious because it's just green versus red dots everywhere. But I think Dan, what worked for me is in this process, since you're kind of easing into it, you got the first thing right, which is I would tell them, first thing, the tool you're getting from me is going to help you realize where your leads are coming from. That's worth its money, its subscription and gold every month right there. But then I would do instead of having a conversation with him, I would just do a video. I would just do a video and showing him every month, contrasting with showing him that lead snap graph, and just in the next 3 months, are you seeing any change at all? And if he doesn't, then you just say, well, I think you know your answer there about the company you're using, and just leave it at that. You know,
Well, let me maybe I kind of I already pretty sure based on some conversations that he's going to go.
he's going to
Um,
leave them.
he's going to turn this stuff on with the local SEO by the end of the month or the first week of March because he knows
Okay.
that here in Philly the snow's melting, roofs are already starting to leak, thunderstorm season's a month and a half away. So he's already like, I'm not going to wait. I think he's going to run both, but more along what I was trying to get at with some of you guys is like, you know,
Is it worth
other
doing?
than us telling like the analogical stories to the guy to try to get it, like do you guys just believe that for these local guys, like the local traditional SEO,
Well, that's a
it's
good
kind of a
question.
waste?
Well, no,
Absolutely not.
the local SEO that works is the stuff that generates the signals, like Pat was saying, which is reviews,
Yeah.
clicks, um,
And
bringing
like
people into the Google Business Profile through
Videos.
videos or in content.
Blog posts.
But it's
All
the
right, so let me
signal.
ask you what the next part is.
Yeah.
To get them, and I don't know if anybody actually knows, but to get them where they're starting to become prominent on all the ask engines.
That's all going to be schema and the FAQs and the topical authority on the website.
That's
Okay.
right.
And then that all hooks into the GBP, and it literally has to. I'll send you a link, and you can browse around in the school that I'm in. But Lauren knows it. It's the Caleb Olku stuff. But basically, it literally is just you got to have the website mirrors what the GBP is, and the services have to be
Yep.
more question and topic related as opposed to concrete
Right,
floor
like the
or whatever.
FAQs.
Yeah,
All of
like
your
an FAQ,
FAQs,
but
you should have videos of
the
those FAQs.
yeah, and that like
Yeah, but is the
every
ask
page,
engines
like,
going to run through the videos?
yes. Yeah,
Absolutely.
they're pulling transcripts. Well, think about Google AI. Google, if you go into if I go into like ChatGPT and I say do some research and all that, ChatGPT can kind of browse. But if I go into Gemini and I go to AI Studio and I go dig this information up, it's going to pull up a lot more information, and it pulls up references of all the sites that it browsed and everything, because Google is Google and it knows what, Google knows exactly what's going on, and ChatGPT really doesn't. So getting those citations like Bing, because I mean, well, ChatGPT uses Bing. A lot of the LLMs are on Bing. So I bet that guy doesn't have the GBP mirrored over to Bing, and any other citations like the Better Business Bureau and just NAPs over on those big major citations.
All right, that leads me into another question before I forget.
All right.
What are you doing, and what are you guys doing in general for citations? Because Uber all on HighLevel sucks.
Yeah, I've got I got my plumber on Uber all on HighLevel, and I am not impressed even a little bit, because
Yeah.
everything's submitted and there's a bunch of stuff
Pending
submitted,
all
like,
sorts of bullshit.
and I don't even know that Yext works that well. So I know that there's somebody that does a lot more SEO than I do, and they were saying like, look, you just hire out like hand verified citations, and you get about 200 citations, and that hits the saturation point for the LLMs. So there's services out there that'll do it, and that's probably what I'm going to start
I just
researching.
put in the link. This
So
is
when you look at
the
like
cheapest
Uberall
way.
and some of those that are
You should
saying,
not
hey, we're
buy
actually
any of that.
creating a listing on Siri, on Alexa, on Apple Maps, on ChatGPT, on Perplexity, which Uberall claims to do. Okay.
Did you see the link I just sent?
Yeah. But I'm just curious as
I've
far as
been
when
doing
you see
that for
some of those
15
scan tools
years.
that say, hey, we are creating these on these sites. Am I wrong?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it's a bunch of BS.
Are these prices like one-time things for the local business listing?
Yes, yes, all you people been paying outrageous for nothing.
Yep.
That's part of the thing. Those of us who've been through the SEO world, we've already been through all of these scams. You know, the reality is, if someone goes out there and manually, which they have their little systems, just like Jay is agreeing with me, and I'm sure there's some other, like there's probably others, right? But you want something that's very basic, that goes out and just puts in. I usually, for a company who's just first a client, I do 300, and then after that, I get up to 1,000. Because see, then it's everywhere, and Google just doesn't question it anymore, because no one would have that many citations. That's why I wouldn't pay merchant $40 a month. For what? I should
Does
just pay
this
$40.
Well, I don't.
WL
Yeah, I don't.
marketing list what the citations are?
Yeah.
So let's go. Let me see. So if you were getting started with this, what package do you buy?
A lot of times I'll go to local business listing service,
Uh-huh.
the first one.
Yeah.
Okay. Then you click on there, and it's like, I don't usually do, well, I guess sometimes I do the $75 one, But then under that, you see how it's like 35 local business listings and
Uh-huh.
it's $17. I
Yeah.
usually do the 100 to 300. So I'll spend maybe like 40 like
Uh-huh.
the first month. And then they give you a whole list. And actually you can email them, ask them, blah, blah, blah. What's the list? But I've done it so long that I don't even want to know the list, but it's the main ones. So
Okay.
this way you're getting, I never found, see this $35, this 35 enhanced local business listing, blah, blah, blah for $26. I
Mhm.
never found that was any different than the $17 one. But I just do one at the beginning because I never know, is the client going to flake out? Yeah, I'm not going to spend a bunch of money if they're just going to
Right.
flake
So
out.
you kind of do like the 35 and then
Right.
this is a one-time submission and that's basically it, huh?
That is 100% it.
Awesome.
You have to
And not
verify
even,
all the listings.
yes, otherwise it wouldn't be. That's why it takes 7 days. They do it right away. And then there's the whatever verification stuff. You know, every
So when you do
verification
that,
is
are you
different.
putting like, are you verifying it for them?
No, no, they're verifying it. I'm not doing anything. I pay money and I'm done. You do have to fill out the form that says like whatever your information is, you know, roofer XYZ, and this is the address and this is the phone number. Now, the issue with what you're talking about doing, which is why I would never do it, is using your own phone number. Well, now you've gone and put out maybe hundreds of citations with your phone number, not their phone number. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Because this is something you can't undo.
No,
So
what I'm
that's
saying with the
why,
verification is like sometimes with like a Yext listing or whatever, like the business owner has to verify that it was created.
no,
Okay.
no, because that's Yext, that's their sales. They're
No, but
just
I know for
nothing
like
but a
Apple
thief.
Maps, you have
They're
to
a thief.
verify it.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
But you
Like
have
if
to
you're
think about, why do I care about an exception of Apple Maps when I'm getting 300 listings?
right,
300
but people
listings
use Apple
trumps
Maps.
Apple Maps.
Apple Maps
But
is
you don't
default on a
need,
lot of iPhones.
but Apple Maps is going to look at all these other 300 certifications. How many people have been put on Apple Maps without a verification? Thousands, hundreds of thousands. Apple Maps wouldn't exist if you had to verify everything. See, this is just the dog chasing the tail, dog chasing the tail, dog chasing the tail. The real issue is you've got to get, you know, out there. That's why I'm saying I just do the 35 at once, make sure the client's, you know, good, because you don't have to do 300 at once. If you're really sure about a client, then yeah, I would do the 300. But I just wanted to give you an example of what real world SEOs use. We use stuff that works. And there's lots of choices in there. See that USA businesses, $75. I usually don't do it at first. And da 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 da, it's like instant approval, enhanced, double check, all that. This is all the stuff that you're talking about. Most of it doesn't matter because these services, you know, they're listing services. They generally go out and query, oh, does this exist somewhere else? Oh, it does. Oh, I see 6 listings or whatever. And then they just approve it. There's not this big process. Yext has done a great job of selling people just a ball of wax. But as far as real SEO, citations is such a small part, right? One
Yep.
of the big things is really creating your visibility. So what Pat was talking about the videos, right? So I like to have the FAQs, and then I like to have a video matching that. It doesn't have to 100% match, but like, is a leak in a roof bad? Yes, it's bad. Then have a little short, teeny video about how a leak in a roof is bad. And then in that transcript, after the video is created, you can go ahead and insert 5,000 words, which should be a blog post that you have on your website, which should also be similar but different on some other website. Can you see how SEO? So a lot of times people would call this, I don't know, link chaining, or it doesn't matter what you call it, but it's like Google's a spider and it goes bing, human being and it sees the information in multiple places the same about this company, about their services, about their locations. And you can even go crazier with this and do the different FAQ and video for each location. So Dallas, Texas, Plano, Texas, you can do it per zip code. That's how you really get local. That's what I don't understand why that is not anywhere in all this SEO stuff. You do this stuff for every zip code, you will own it. And guess how long it's been like that? Since the panda. I don't think it's going to change. I don't think you have to go do every zip code. You should get that guy to tell you what his 5 or 10 top zip codes are. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'm not getting into all that with them. I was just curious if everybody's abandoning the whole idea of the
I think it's
Uberall
great.
and Yext
I think
and
it's
some
great
of
for
those.
people to abandon the idea that the more people think local SEO doesn't work, the richer we all get. Because all you have to do is do it, and then you'll see that it works. But it works, and it's worked for years, and it's going to continue to work. Because even if everything goes to AI, that's still going to be in AI. I don't know if you have typed the difference of, let's say you're in ChatGPT or whatever you're in, but like roofing, best roofer in Dallas, zip code, da 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 da, and then do the same thing for different zip codes. You will be surprised by what you see. And you have to say to yourself, where is ChatGPT getting this information? They're getting it because the people are visible for that in those zip codes. And ChatGPT isn't even Google. But I really would, if you were going to do any real SEO, I would find out what his top zip codes or areas are. And the big reason why is a person knows their own business and they know when they shouldn't enter a certain zip code, like they've been ripped off by a lot of people in that zip code, and then the zip codes that they really do like. And that's going to make your life a whole lot easier because you're not going to get them a whole bunch of leads from a wrong place. Like here we have two kind of city areas close to each other. One is Sugarland, very profitable. Customers are pushovers. And the other is Mission Bend, right next to it. And they're the worst customers like in all of the Houston area. So you want to optimize for Sugarland and not even ever mention Mission Bend. That's the kind of information that can make your SEO work because you get him better results. Hopefully that makes sense.
All right, that was a good masterclass on listings. Let's move on. Who has something else to say?
I got a quick question. Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
What's up, Kat? Hey, thanks, guys. All right, so I've listening to the SEO stuff. I have a ton of rank and rent sites, and getting ready to put. Well, I've got AI on some of them. A lot of them are just being handled by IVR, and then sent. I've got 3 ways for a business owner to pay. It's either a flat fee, commission, or pay per lead. And wanted to put AI after the IVR. I'm wondering if anybody's really messed around with this MCP action. I was using Assistable. I've been using Assistable, but I'm thinking for inbound simple stuff like this rank and rent, want to use the GHL AI. And I need to extract, information to put into custom fields. And just wondering if before I just start doing this, if the MCP action actually is good and solid. Anybody use it?
I used it when they first rolled it out, but I haven't used it lately. So I'm not sure how many more functions and things like that that they've added to it. But I mean, if all you're needing to do is add add or upsert contacts, it's perfectly good.
Yeah, it's that, but I also need to extract information, specifically for triggers. So like if it's a small job, it triggers one workflow. If it's
Yep.
a bigger job, it triggers another workflow, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, if you need to fetch the information too, that's good. I mean, yeah, you got to be able to I mean, how are you going to be accessing the MCP?
Well,
I mean, like
as
what?
far as I understand, MCP is I'm going to be using that for extracting information from the conversation, and then use by via webhook putting that into custom fields. Am I understanding that correctly?
Can I ask a quick question?
Sure.
On the rank and rent sites that you have, and you're wanting to use a GHL AI, like what AI specifically are you using?
The AI
Convo, voice?
voice.
Like,
Yeah.
kind of really don't even need to use the MCP.
No, I was going to say like
Yeah, you can just create the custom fields and have the prompt update like name, number, blah, blah, blah. And then you can use like a custom GPT action in the transcript or the note to determine value of the job and like, determine if it's a high level job, a medium level job, or a low level job and route it that way. You don't even need MCP for that. I mean, it's kind of all built in if you're using the native voice, and you can just use in a workflow custom GPT action that will, and now it's going to be other language models in there too, where it'd be like, just a custom LLM action or whatever they're going to call it that will summarize your conversation based on, whatever you want it to be.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I'll
Yeah.
just have to mess around with it a little bit more. So I can create, say, for example, if I have a certain script, 5 questions, and each question would be an extraction, I can have a custom field for each extraction.
Yep.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
you
can
can
have the
have it.
custom field for each extraction, and you can actually even too, if you want to like simplify it, like depending on what that custom field would be, but like if you want to put it in a custom field, you can. But the custom GPT action is basically, if you're not familiar with it in the workflow, you're going to tell it to like, analyze this transcript, and then you write a simple prompt, determine if this job is between, you know, 1,000 and 5,000, 5,000 and 10,000, 10,000 and 15,000. And then if it is, add this tag or whatever you want to do. That tag would route it to Alec or Pat or me based on, you
Sure.
know, like,
Okay.
yeah. So
Cool.
I know what you're thinking as far as the MCP, but if you're going to use the native GHL voice and just plug a phone number into, or, from HighLevel, I don't think you need the MCP.
Okay. Cool. Yeah,
No,
I'll try that
bro.
out
Yeah.
first. Excellent. Excellent. That makes things easier.
Yeah,
Appreciate it,
what
Yeah,
you're
guys.
doing with the
Yep.
custom actions um, is is pretty good. The only thing you want to take a look at is when you're building them, you have during call actions and after call actions.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
like
so
updating the custom fields, like you might just to make the call flow faster, do it after the call. Okay, it will remember. It's going to pull it off the transcript, and then
Yep.
you'll build like a little wait time in the workflow before you run the GPT for like a minute. That way it can pull everything and you'll be
that's
you'll
kind of
be
like the
good.
pre-call and post-call webhooks, right? If I'm using an external voice AI, right?
Kind of, yeah. And with
Yeah.
this, I mean, depending on how you're sending it to people, you shouldn't even need the webhooks.
Yeah, exactly. All right, cool.
Yeah, just workflow based.
Awesome. Appreciate it, guys. Thanks very much.
Yep. What else we got?
Well, I'm
Um,
glad we're moving on to that. I set up my N8 this week.
Oh,
First
you're
time.
in it in?
Yeah.
Nice.
Worked
We're
out
doing
Very
fine.
nice.
OpenClaw now. I mean,
I know. Just like at the N8,
on
now
to
we're
the
doing
new
OpenClaw.
thing, yeah, we're on to the new thing, Jay.
I know.
No, N8N is still doing great stuff and just
Yeah.
kicking ass. So you don't need OpenClaw for everything unless you really want to set your money on fire and just burn like millions of tokens.
Well, that's what I wanted to
So,
hear. I
Correct.
saw you post that in the Facebook group there. Have you heard more back about how expensive it is? Like,
no, I know you could use Open Router, and I know that you can basically you can kind of train it so that when you want to do something with code, you could say like, use GLM5 or something like that. Or if you need to just look something up, just use OpenAI or DeepSeek or something like that. So you can train it to go through OpenRouter and set, different models for different types of tasks. So that way it's not using Opus 4.6 for, just writing a review response or some crap like that, and burning tokens. But it's funny to see like everybody's like, oh, I'm vibe coding my ass off. Woo, I'm just making apps. I'm like, dude, like what how many apps do you need to make? And like what are you making? And are you actually making any money, or are you just like, is this just hobby stuff? So
Yeah. Yeah, that's
but
the vibe I got.
myself, I've got like two, maybe three projects that I've had on the whiteboard that I need to get to. And I think like, well, if I can train OpenClaw on it and give it the background and what I've already done, it can finish those jobs for me. And then that's what I want it to do. So I don't need it to go off and do everything and, feed my dog and check my email and do all that other crap like everybody else is doing. So
Change the temperature in my climate controlled
yeah,
place. Yeah. Kind of ridiculous.
exactly. So yeah. Jerry, what's up?
Hey, how you guys doing?
Pretty good, pretty good.
Good,
Long
mate.
time no see.
Yeah.
So I I got a, a funnel from Mike Reamer
Mhm.
to do like like a voice AI widget being hidden behind a button. He gave me some code
Yeah.
for the button, but I can't figure out
Oh, like the
what.
on-page widget.
Yeah, not like the one that you did. It's like behind like a regular button, like call me button or something. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
If I showed you the code, you think you could show like see if you could figure out where you swap out like the widget ID or whatever to um
Yeah, I'd have to. Yeah, if you want to message it, like just DM me, and then I can check it out.
okay.
Yeah, I haven't seen his code, but I mean, yeah, he usually does a pretty good job with the code, so it would be easy to kind of pick apart and see what how to get things fixed. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll send you a screenshot of like the what I'm talking about too, like it because it's like an iPhone looking thing with like a like call pet safe, and then behind the button is custom code.
right, yeah,
All
okay,
right,
yeah,
cool.
it shouldn't be too hard to work on that or get that going.
All right, awesome. Thank you.
Yep, you got it.
All right. Let's see who else has got anything to say. We got Ian in the house, Mark after a long time, Kevin. Kevin's in the house. Alfonso joined as well. What have you guys been up to? Got any questions? Anything to share? Oh, Ian, you can share
Hey,
about your win. You closed a client recently.
well, it's using the voice AI bot,
Yeah,
and
this is a general high level, so you can talk about anything high level. So
Go for
go
it.
ahead.
yeah. So I put a voice AI demo together, very similar to the one that Alok you showed me the other day, and just needs a little bit more tweaking to be able to get to yours, or anyways, so I'm not going to get into that.
Yeah.
But the contractor, which was a plumbing, electrical, and HVAC company, they were using an answering service, and they were really happy with her for 20 years until they weren't. The weekend before I went and presented to them, I showed them the demo, and she was like, "Oh yeah, that works way better."
Did you just get someone fired, Ian?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's
He-
fired.
only a relation
I
of
didn't
20
get them.
years. He
I didn't get them fired. They didn't answer the damn phone.
Well, that'll do it. Yeah.
But
Congratulations.
there's a lesson in that. Like if someone says like, hey, no, we already have a service, answering service or whatever,
Don't
guess what?
believe them.
You
Yeah.
still
Don't
have
believe them.
to prospect and you still have to go after it and try for show them the demo. Because you never know, it's just that one call. Ian, like Ian said,
Yeah.
they had an answering service for 20 years. and one call was a big call for them. They screwed up, and then they want to fire them. So
And that was
yeah,
a $5,000 onboarding and $1,000 a month just for the voice
Nice.
bot.
there you go.
Wow.
Nicely done.
Good stuff,
Yeah.
man. Good stuff.
Yeah, I gotta.
So interestingly too is that my demo, um, in my BNI group, my old BNI group, there was somebody who does something called graphic meeting recording, which really is somebody who's creating infographics live in, just drawing what's going on in the meeting. And so she wanted to try out the bot, and I said, sure, why not? And then so she did. And then it answered questions about being a meeting graphic recorder better than she could.
Oh,
And this was just with a ChatGPT for general business. Like
That's
no,
Nice.
obscure. Because like
I know.
nobody even knows what that is.
That's right.
I've never heard of that.
And it was kind of funny. And so she's gonna trade a very large amount of graphic design and branding for me to put this bot together, and it's gonna take me absolutely nothing to do it.
Wow, that's a
very
win.
nice.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
And I don't know, like you guys, I started talking to Alok about my big program, which is Exhibitor Follow Up Pro now, for trade show follow up systems. And today I just connected with a major trade show producer, who does home shows, cottage shows, and boat shows, and they're interested in talking to me about offering my service to their clients.
Cool.
Yeah, and that's like
Super awesome.
600 vendors at a show.
Oh man,
And
yeah, there you go.
if you guys, if anybody knows about trade show exhibiting, 90% of trade show exhibitors do a shitty job of following up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the other
Almost
3% do
basically
none.
90% of everybody does a shitty job of following.
Well, that's true,
Yeah.
but this is a blue ocean market.
Yeah.
Ian, can I connect with you?
Yeah, sure, Warren.
I have a project that's coming up. I'm working with a guy that's doing geofencing, and we're creating a whole automated closed loop kind of system around
Okay.
the stuff that we're doing with him. But we're looking at very specific ICPs that are running trade shows events. So
Okay, so I'm just putting my meeting link in the chat.
okay. And then the other thought too, that you were talking about on the call centers. In another lifetime, I used to do a lot of home services. I was a property manager for an investment company. We would go in and buy properties and rehab them.
Yeah, yeah.
We dealt with call centers all the time, and they're expensive and they suck.
Yeah, they do.
Well, they don't all suck, but with the AI voice, especially, I'm thinking,
Well, they're all going offshore now, Warren. So
Are they?
the quality of the call centers has gone down drastically in the last 10, 15 years. Something else. Oh, hold on. There was something else I want to say.
I
Wait.
wanted to ask, what's the pricing
Pricing?
of these call centers back then and now?
It's generally, depending on the volume, it can be, $300, $500, $2,000 a month. It's on a per call basis generally.
Yeah, we had multiple properties and we were using a call center. I mean, this is 25 years ago at this point, but
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
was expensive back then.
So another thing that people should be aware is that voice AI in the mid-market, say contract, any kind of business that's in that $2 to $5 million annual fee, you really need to be aware of what the telephony is in their business before you go in. right? Because if they're already on a hosted PBX like Ring Central or something like that, or net to phone, they all have AI enabled reception now. Not
I
that they're
will.
necessarily all that good,
They're awful. Ring Central is
right?
not to be, yeah, just Ring Central is shit, to be honest. It
Yeah.
Yeah,
really
total
is.
shit.
So the reason I say that is, first of all, there's a huge opportunity for on-premise PBXs, because you can overlay the AI outside of the on-premise PBX, and then if they have direct dial extensions, it can just it can just distribute through the phone numbers. Right? So it's
Yeah.
there's some interesting stuff going on, but there's a lot of limitations to that. I talked to somebody who's a telephony person yesterday. I was like, okay, this is really cool, and so she said she gave me the lowdown on the different types of systems. Like there's the POTS lines, the plain old telephone service lines, the SIP lines, which are sort of software based or cloud based, and then there's something called PRI. I think no, not PRI, PID or something like that. Anyways, it's the last one is limited to 23 simultaneous lines going into a phone number. And so what that means is that you're limited to 12 inbound outbound, because an AI bot has to be inbound and outbound on a single call.
Yep.
So, you have to be aware of the actual telephony structure, or else you're going to get yourself into trouble. And most of the people that I've talked to so far don't even have a clue about it. So,
Ian, I didn't see your
oh, sorry. You know what? I put it into a different chat. So it's all really interesting stuff. There you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, what's nice is some of these guys, like the local home services, like if they're using something like House Call Pro, or uh,
Yeah, I still
like
that's
Service
what
Titan
this
and all
one
that.
company's doing.
Yeah,
So I want to tie into House Call Pro.
yeah. Well, they've got, so that it's super easy because they can go into their telephony, like they literally go into a drag and drop screen. It looks like a high level a workflow builder, and then they can basically say like this call goes, they can route wherever it wants to go, and it's like
Yeah.
if I don't answer, go here. And so she knew how to set it up immediately. So I said, well, here's the phone number it needs to call if you don't answer. And she's like, oh yeah, just a minute. She put it in there and boop, it was off and running.
Yeah.
So
That's the next stage of development for the high level IVR system, and the fact that it's now the IVR itself has desk phones and like real extensions.
yeah,
That's actually a big deal.
Yeah.
yeah. And I think I mean
I
they're
advise
supposed to
everybody,
be.
sorry, but to go watch the last town hall recording on the
Oh
phone
great, what
system.
now? You sound
You're
like you're.
farther away than you guys
That's
think.
what I figured. That's what I figured. I knew you were gonna just shit all
What
over
did
it,
what did
Dan.
you just say there, Dan?
You're just gonna just
Go into
crap
the
all
high
over.
level university community thing on your high level home screen in the app. Find the community for town halls and go find the replay from last week on voice and phone. There's two back to back. Um, you're farther away than you think, and there's some guys in
What do
the
you mean
call
farther
that
away?
you'll see. I'm just telling
Are,
you to
are we?
watch the
Are we?
replays.
So Dan, just like, are we going backwards?
They don't have anybody from telephony like industry designing everything for their SIP phones.
I don't think they
Oh,
have
okay.
anybody from any
Okay.
particular industry
And
doing
the
anything in the
way,
phone.
listen, as soon as you said desktops, SIP phones, like business telephony, the market's already proven what you need. There's a standard that they just have to meet, and they're not close. They're not even
Right.
building towards that standard. They're like, well, what do you think about if we do it this way? I'm not all that technical in that space. but I can tell from the call. So I advise you, Ian, to go watch it, put it on 1.5 times speed. You'll see what I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah. Before you go down some kind of
Awesome.
road that you're thinking you might go
Well,
down,
no,
make
I don't.
sure.
But
Yeah.
Dan, I don't need to go down the road of the internal IVR system. Like I can just overlay the voice AI on top of like a hosted PBX or a on-premise PBX.
Okay. I'm just it's worth knowing since you brought it up that they have it, like, sort of what some of the challenges are, in case you start getting into extensions and different things.
Right. Always something you want to test anyway, right?
Oh yeah.
just like just like AI bots. Oh my God, they go off the rails so easily.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you build it right, it should be able to handle almost any kind of situation. I think the framework that my general framework that I built seems just still holds up. So I'm pretty happy with what I got.
I
Yeah.
was able to out prompt it going off the rails or giving recipes for chicken farm or how to make a milkshake and just stay on point.
Yeah. Yeah, it's actually not that difficult. It takes some testing and making sure that your prompt behaves.
Yep.
From my experience, like I'm not the programming king either.
Well, it doesn't take much. It's pretty decent. Plus, with the way they're, if you can modify the system prompt a little bit, like Dan did, uh, and then AI is the worst it's going to be today. So I mean, it's just always getting a little bit better, and it handles the little features they keep adding are making it better. So
Right.
cool.
Is anybody using the Agent Studio? Pat, are you using the Agent Studio yet?
I tinkered with it a little bit, and I couldn't figure it out, so I kind of gave up on it. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, I'm using N8N. I'm launching OpenClaw here. I got a server up and running. I just got to configure it, and then I'm gonna start diving into that and having it do what I need it to do.
Yeah.
So
Does hosting have like a fast or quick start for OpenClaw too, or no?
yeah, Contabo has one, and Hostingers has one as well. The Contabo one, they it launches. I mean, like you like it once it's up and running, you can basically shell in and you go through the onboarding and everything, but they don't do anything. They don't have anything like a pre-hardened snapshot and stuff like that. So you got to go in and you got to do all your security stuff.
Not true. I signed up for Contabo last week. They got a one-click install. No.
Well, I mean for OpenClaw,
Oh,
but
not for
which
OpenClaw. Well, no,
right?
I think they just
No,
I
they
got their
they got
email.
the
I thought they said they got OpenClaw
They
right
they
now.
do. They do. Yeah, I set up an open call. They launched it, but then I sent them an email, said, "Is this already hardened? Does it like have the ports closed off and does it,
Oh, right.
that sort of stuff?" And
Yeah.
they're like, "No, that's all used." So I have an SOP that I use to set up my Coolify N8N server, and the same security like steps that I follow still would apply to the
The
OpenClaw server. So
the the coolie
ports.
thing the security stuff that you deployed on your N8
Yep.
and should I still do that on my Catawba? Because I didn't do anything from
100%.
your
Oh yeah, 100%, dude.
really?
You got it. Yep. Well, they like so it doesn't load up any of the antivirus type stuff, or the app protection. So it doesn't install malicious apps, things like that. You want to shut off, like you want to basically configure your firewall to only allow certain ports, things like that, so that somebody can't do a lot of port scanning. And then if you're going to shell in instead of going to like port 21, or sorry, port 22, or I forgot whatever it is, then you give it some ridiculously high number port that you shell into, and then you also use fail demand. So if somebody's scanning your ports, they can get blocked and stuff like that. So there's a lot. I mean, I have that. I thought I gave you that SOP.
I have it right here. It's up in my
Aha!
browser right now.
Then you need to do those steps.
Oh man, I hate working in the shell. It's so
It's
annoying typing and stuff.
okay, Jay. It's all right.
I need a
Once you're done, it's done.
I need a GUI, man. All right.
Yeah, that's all right. You're on Windows, just open up PowerShell and go into the terminal. That's it. Just super easy.
I don't know, man. I have DOS nightmares when I
Oh,
go
God.
in the
Yeah,
shell.
I know. But I mean, that's it. It's pretty simple. So,
Okay, well,
Is-
yep.
it needs to be done. I mean,
Well, yeah, you don't want anybody taking over your server and start sending bulk email and stuff like that and
no
locking
kidding.
you out. The nice thing is that you can, if you ever need to, you can go into Contabo and just blow away the server and reinstall everything. But that's a pain in the ass if you got to rebuild all your N8N from the ground up. So
Can N8N workflows be exported into like a file?
yeah,
Like,
you can save the flows as JSON, and then the only thing it doesn't do is it doesn't take your credentials with it. So you'd have to go back in and set up all your credentials. But
still pretty
uh,
good for a backup.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's not bad. And then I'd set up Contabo to do snapshots, back it up. So if you ever need to, you can you know pick a date and restore it.
All
So,
right. I
but
use
that won't work if somebody hacks into your server and it's doing snapshots on a hacked server. So get in there and harden that thing up, man. You don't leave the door off the front of your house.
Yeah, no doubt. That's ugh. All right. Well, cool.
Good grief.
Here, I'm gonna post that
Yeah,
photo.
is that SOP something that you're giving out to everybody, or?
I was gonna end up doing like a webinar thing and all that. I'll just, you know what, in this group tonight, I'll drop that SOP out.
I've got it right here, Pat.
Thank you.
Here you go.
It's basically, yeah, drop it into, yeah,
There
there
you
you
go.
go. So
That's it, guys. Everybody.
Man,
Thank
you
you.
crack under peer pressure pretty quick there, Pat, on that SOP.
yeah. So you get in there and like all the steps up to like step 1 through 9 is all the security stuff. And then everything after that is installing Coolify and N8N. So if you were going to run an OpenClaw, you'd still want to do everything from like step 1 through 9. So,
Okay.
Awesome. Thank you.
yep.
What's Coolify for? What does that do?
Coolify is a Docker manager, so it's basically just a big graphical interface for Docker. And then what Docker is basically it's like little tiny, it's almost like little mini servers on your server. So you can set up, it's like drawers. It's like drawers in a chest of drawers.
Bless
Like
you.
you can install, compartmentalized software. So you can install a project and then you can, add databases and services and stuff like that into one little container. And then that way it's like it operates in its own little ecosystem. And then they can all talk to each other through APIs and stuff like that.
Why do you have it on there? What does it do for you?
To
Because
load stuff.
it makes it super, super easy to manage things and install stuff. Like let me show you what I've
It's
got
how
here.
you load stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. So instead of like loading like let's say Windows, instead of loading everything in like one folder, you're basically like creating subfolders and loading stuff there. And the nice thing is that they can all have their own little network connections and things. And so, like I have Base Row, that's an alternative to Airtable. DocMost is an alternative to Motion or Notion. Of course, we got N8N. I got my own LastPass running here. I've got a vector database so I can store stuff in N8N with agents. Browserless is basically it's like a headless Chrome browser that can go out. I can drive that around the internet with N8N and have it
Scrape.
scroll and click buttons and scrape and pull back
Yeah.
data.
Yeah.
Fizzy, I'm probably going to get rid of that one, but that's a Kanban project management from the guys that built Basecamp.
So it's
OpenClaw,
junk, right?
what's that?
Is fizzy junk?
It's okay. It's just kind of depends on what you want with it. I've got it turned off right now. OpenClaw, I can't get. I'm having trouble with OpenClaw running inside Coolify, so I'm just gonna run it off the VPS, and it has more access with the VPS. And then Plane is project management, and then Uptime Kuma is like it's like Uptime Robot. So basically, like in N8N, see, I can create like I've got a Redis database running that helps with the queuing for all the services on N8N. And so then I can if I wanted to add a new resource in here, you basically go in here and then these are all the apps that are built in that you can install. Like just almost literally everything. And then you can even pull stuff off GitHub and things like that. So you can run WordPress, you can do all kinds of things in here. So,
Really?
yep.
Huh. Maybe I can get off my WordPress monthly subscription to my
Well,
WordPress.
there's some nice interesting CMSs in here that are not WordPress, and they're actually pretty darn good looking. So,
Hmm.
why you do that? Like I'm just gonna myself, I'm gonna stick with HighLevel. So,
Hmm. Yeah.
but that's what Coolify is. And it gives you like if you need to go in and manage like edit stuff in the like the server and stuff like that, it has a terminal that you can connect to your
It's 6
server and
o'clock.
type in there.
Yeah.
So kind of
By the
like a
time the
GUI,
barbecue
but
heats up and I have
you don't have to worry
steak,
about running
go to
SSH
yoga
again.
for 7:30. I'm going to
So
suggest that we have the steaks tomorrow for lunch.
Sure.
And I'm just going to heat up some pork roast for
Mark,
myself.
mute.
Okay, or do
Mark,
you want me to heat up
mute.
some
are we
stuff for
having?
you?
Somebody mute him.
We get it. The steak is
Are you going to be on
important.
your own?
I'd love to have some steak too. Make sure you have enough for everybody here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Sorry, guys.
Where are you
That was
located,
that
Mark?
was a talk through
Alfonso's
on my bike.
hungry.
I'm feeling hungry too.
We're all
That's
going to
it.
Mark's.
We need some steak right now.
Hey,
Mark's buying.
while I've interrupted, I've got a nagging high level question. I don't know when and why it happened, but every time I create a new contact, it adds a tag and it adds them to the pipeline. Has anyone else experienced that? And how do you
Do
turn
you
it
have an
off?
automation that triggers
Yeah.
on contact create?
You have an automation.
Yeah, there's got to be an automation that's working somewhere.
Or you have a trigger that says add tag and you did not define the tag.
Yeah. Okay, I'll have to look. I thought maybe they rolled out an update because it's happened in a couple of different accounts that I haven't touched for ages. All right.
When you
I'll have
say
some.
ages, how many ages? Like
Oh, I
before
don't know.
tags?
Just trying to think how long it's been happening. It's probably been happening for 3-4 weeks at least.
Yeah,
I'll
there might. I mean,
I'll go look. Is there a way to search for triggers now? Because an active campaign, you can.
no, not really. It would be nice to be able to search through workflows, but that's probably
Could he
key.
use Ask AI inside it and ask AI to find it for him?
Oh God, no.
No,
It's too
the
advanced.
Ask AI is not
That
that
AS guy is so stupid.
smart.
I'm not going to spend one more effing minute on that piece of shit. But this is the thing. When
Are
you
you talking
go
about Ask AI or Jay's question?
Ask AI. Oh, stop. Ask AI, of course.
Spend the same
But,
amount of time on both.
right?
Well, football's
No.
over. I still got to pick on Jay.
Poor Jay. But go look at your tag, okay? And you should be able to go and audit. Right? Like you can go, like it's being executed on. So there's a way for you to figure out what is happening with the contact. And you will see what it is. You need to go audit. You know what I'm talking about?
The audit logs and settings.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, try
That's
that.
going to be your friend. For sure,
Okay,
you're
I'll
going to
check that
find
out.
what it is. Whatever's broken, whether it's a trigger or whatever it is, you'll see it and you'll be like, ah, so something broke that,
Cool.
you
Thanks.
know, and then you'll totally see what the pattern is and just go fix it real quick.
And it sounds like everyone's focused on Go High Level Voice AI for inbound at least.
Yep.
So it's now to the point where it's workable.
Oh yeah, it's rocking.
And are most people doing just pay per use? Because $97 for limited, probably nobody uses that.
I mean, if they're like a home service and they're taking a lot of calls, you could upgrade them. But yeah, like per because now they're doing basically like token usage instead of, you know.
I think Dan answered this a couple of months ago, but basically like, cause I was paying for the 97 for multiple clients and, you know, I couldn't see what they were really using, but it wasn't enough. And he said for even his biggest paint by numbers client or whatever it is, that they were just like $20, $30. So I think it's, you know, a better price performer just to do as is. And then like Pat's saying, if you need to upgrade, then do it. It'll be justified.
Yep.
Okay. Well, that's helpful. And has anyone tested a pay per call using AI? So say for booked appointments?
You mean pay per call?
Yeah, so hey, Mr. Business, okay, you don't want to pay for the AI, or I approach them and I say, hey, look, I'll only charge you 25 bucks, 50 bucks, whatever, for a booked appointment. But I'll use the AI to do that. So instead of them paying me a setup fee and a flat rate, I could just charge them more money for each booked call.
Mm.
Yeah, but where are you going to book the call? On the client's calendar?
No, it'd be on my high level. Well, yeah, you'd set it up on their behalf. I'm just saying, instead of just, charging them for the service, has anyone tested selling and providing a pay per call? Or in this case, a pay per result, which would be a booked appointment?
I think the real problem for a lot of people is that's actually a lot of work for you to integrate in with their stuff
Mm-hmm.
so that that it shows up on their calendar, because you need to create a calendar and then you need to share it to like their Google Calendar
Yeah,
or something, and it's so easy to overbook. And I've had people go down that route, and then they said, well, you know what though? I mean, it would be a lot cheaper if you just ran the stuff for us. For how much per month? What are you going to charge me per month? And then we kind of look at what their calls are, and then that's how you figure out, they're 1,500 a month or 1,700 or
right.
2,500. But it's always turned into that, because really what people want is, they want sales, and they're not going to stick with you if they don't have sales. And I really mean sales. I don't mean booked appointments. So their
Yeah, for sure.
brain doesn't like, I understand this model and it sounds great, but everybody's always wanted to go the route of, well, we just rather pay you per month. That way we know you're handling it.
Okay, that's helpful to know. Thanks.
But it is doing AI is doing a good enough job with inbound calls and things like that. Like we actually have, like, for the insurance stuff that we're doing, we have it so that I've got one inbound in built all the way in retail, because HighLevel can't, for some reason, their system instructions kind of override the bot being able to read a disclaimer before it does a transfer. So I have to have it built in retail for that inbound. But it's, I mean, HighLevel's on retail, and so that's the only reason I'm using, retail, so I can force it to read a disclaimer before it transfers if the person's qualified. But we also have it so that if people call, they're supposed to be talking to an insurance agent. If they sit on hold for 60 seconds, it rolls over to the AI voice and it says, "Sorry, everybody's really busy. Can we have somebody call you back?" And it chats with them and takes their name and phone number and email and all that, and it posts it into a workflow that drops them into another call pool so they get called again. But we've listened to some of the recordings and stuff, and almost every person is going through that bot, leaving, if they do roll over to it, and they're leaving their info. And then we've even had some of the people that, when they do get called by an agent, like, "Oh yeah, I talked to that Emma. She's a really nice girl." It's like, that's how good the
Oh,
AI is.
yeah.
Okay, I'm glad you brought that up, because there's two things I'm wondering. One, with insurance agents,
hmm
um, what hoops have you gone to go through? Is this Medicare or is this like
Yeah, it's
business
Medicare.
insurance?
Yeah, it's
Okay,
Medicare.
so
Medicare,
it's just
CMD.
their regular, disclaimers and stuff, right? And are you
Yeah,
doing
yeah.
the
There's it.
Medicare?
It's like they have to go through, like, when they call. It says, like, are you calling about the offer? Are you in, what state are you in? What's your date of birth? Do you have Medicare A and B? And if they fill all that, like, they pass all that, they're qualified. And it's like, great, it's everything I need. I just need to read this to you real quick before I transfer to an agent in your state. And it reads it and then says, "Okay, hold on just a moment, let me connect you." And then it does a whisper connect and introduces and says, "Hey Bob, this is, Anna, and she's calling about the offer, so I'm going to let you two talk. Have a good day." And it clicked and it's done, and you're transferred.
Okay,
So does just fine. We're
cool.
getting like over 40% conversion on that one, with people calling in direct to the open AI, or the inbound AI. So I mean, so that's before it even gets to an agent. So not bad. So, yep. All right. Well, we've been on like hour and 20 minutes. Any last questions?
So I just joined the call not too long ago.
Hey, Brian, what's up?
Yeah, and I also joined the group not too long ago, and I heard some things that I'm pretty familiar with since I just started being a Dr. Spence copywriter,
Oh, yeah.
and so I've been taking a little bit of notes, and y'all was about to end the call.
Yep.
So I just want to introduce myself,
Yeah. Nice
y'all
to have
know.
you on board, man.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'll let y'all know that I'm interested in learning more about all of this.
Well,
So I can
jump in
help.
the group. Everybody's always happy to answer questions and stuff. And,
Mhm.
yeah,
Thank you.
let us know if you need help.
Thank you,
There's,
sir.
there's always stuff to learn in there and with high level. So,
But I got a question. In a high level, like, do all of you have a different business or is it the same thing?
everybody, well, I mean, we're using high level for most everything, but we all kind of have like, different focuses on, different things. So, I think Anna does a whole lot of SEO and Google stuff. I'm doing a little bit of the Google stuff and voice AI and reviews, and then everybody else has got different variations of that sort of kind of thing. So, I mean, it's kind of whatever kind of catches your attention, and easy. I'm going for easy to sell because I'm lazy. So,
Hmm.
that's like reviews, the Google business stuff, and voice AI. Those three are
Yeah, he's a lazy workaholic. Is that's the truth.
well, yeah. I'm a little lazy, so yeah.
I mean, lazy people make the most money
Yeah,
because
we
people,
value our time.
Yeah.
that's true.
So
Yep.
what is your business? What are you trying to do?
I'm trying to master my skill at copywriting, but nowadays just copywriting alone is dead. So I'm learning new skills on top of that, like creative strategy, where I can help out people with their ad scripts. Also, direct response, email marketing, and yeah, that's all I'm focused on right now. And client acquisition.
Well, the email marketing is going to be that'll be interesting because I mean the way AI is really kicking in and filtering out emails and stuff like that. I'd be interested to see how you start crushing it. So
Yeah, AI
Who
is
who
taking
who are your
over.
clients, Brian?
I don't have any clients yet.
Who would be your clients?
I would go after agencies, my marketing agencies or business coaches. Like that's my target audience.
So if you wanted to go after coaches, right? I'm not saying you should or you shouldn't. I don't know anything about that space. It's competitive and coaches come and go. Okay. I could be a coach tomorrow if I wanted to. And like, hey, buy my course. Um, but what you got to look into and maybe research is how to use high level, okay, to help the coaches sell their shit and fulfill and deliver everything to the leads. As far as the copywriting and all that goes, just because of the landscape right now, you might want to lean on telling them they can kind of do it themselves using AI inside a high level. Because that's a lot
True.
sexier right now than hiring somebody to do the copywriting for them.
So that what you said makes total sense because I use AI to write some of my copies too and make it better.
Of course you
And
do.
like
it's all in the prompt.
what would you suggest for me to actually level up?
I mean, if you want to use high level, like I would learn the platform a little bit and just, go on to the high level YouTube channel
Oh,
and
there's a YouTube
watch,
channel
Oh yeah.
yeah, watch some of the spotlight sessions. Right? Where do you live?
in Tennessee
Well, man, you could hook them up. Where in Tennessee are you at?
and see more.
Yeah, you could find Charles.
Yeah, I think
Literally,
Charles is near Nashville, I think, maybe.
yeah. There's a
the
guy named
other thing
Charles
is,
Higgins in the high level community, real knowledgeable. He'd be happy to talk to you. He lives in Tennessee. But literally, like being a young guy, if you can get out and just talk to people in the community and figure out what problems high level solves,
Mm-hmm.
you might decide, hey, this is an easier way to make some money right now and, get it to the point where, are you in school?
No, I graduated.
Okay. I mean, I don't know like what, you're thinking about as far as like, how much money you want to make, but if you get local businesses, and we all sort of do this, get local businesses to, generate reviews, use automations and kind of get a CRM in their hands on their phone. We use HighLevel fulfill that. It becomes real sticky, right? And let's say you did that for like 6 months a year and really grinded to go out there and get these local guys for, like $300 a month or something.
Mm-hmm.
You could be, realistically anywhere from like 7 to 10K a month after a year. Then you can sit on that money and then figure out what the hell you want to do.
Yeah. See,
You know
that
what I'm
was my
saying?
goal with copywriting when I started. Like
So, I
I
mean, you could
wanted
stay with copywriting, but you could also, um,
I would look at leveraging the copywriting in like through the lens of high level with like what can you do with automations and getting like doing helping people with speed to lead and like lead like you were talking about client acquisition like lead generation
hmm
because when people get those calls in like most most small bit like most local businesses when they you fill out a form on their website it just goes to somebody's email inbox and they check it once or twice a day that sort of thing. You help somebody with lead comes in, they get immediately get a text message, and you got the AI or and your copywriting and your style talking to the customer and getting them booked and stuff like that. That stuff is that's gold. It's just because everybody wants they don't want leads, they want paying jobs.
that's what I'm learning. That's what
Yeah,
I'm doing
yeah,
right now.
yeah. So I would dive in because the core of high level is automations and then everything's kind of just built around that. So anything that happens in a high level can trigger an automation or be an automation. So if you can if you can wire that in with what you currently know with copywriting and doing stuff in AI, I think you're gonna be all right. So
Thanks,
and there's
Pat.
always there's
And
always
then
like anytime you got a question, there's always somebody willing to answer.
Well,
wait, in the chat, right?
Oh yeah.
So
you
is
know,
there like a job board where any of you post like needing help or anything?
Uh, I don't. I know there's the high level has there's a high level jobs group, but it's usually pretty busy with like offshore work, stuff like that. It's awful noisy. So, Upwork is probably going to be a better spot where you can, if you're brand new and you don't mind doing a little bit of extra work, you can kind of underbid some people up on, on Upwork and get some of those jobs. And
Upwork
start
is
from there.
very underrated for what you're looking to do.
Yep.
You think it's underrated?
For what you're looking to do.
What am I looking to do?
No,
No, I'm
for what
saying
for
for
what you're
what
looking to
you're
do.
looking to do. If
Oh,
if you're going, for the copywriting angle, you might find your way on there.
you think it's less saturated than LinkedIn?
I haven't been on LinkedIn in forever. That's for all. I mean, but if you are going to be going for coaches and that type of crowd, there are a lot of coaches on LinkedIn. A lot of life coaches, a lot, like Dan said, a lot of people just you be a coach tomorrow. Every time I've ever had anybody in the coaching space reach out to me for doing something, they have all these huge plans and no budget. So I kind of get away from that. Like I like myself just because it's just where I fit in. But I like the local businesses, and the home services because those are services that people absolutely need and they have to pay for them. Like your toilet clogs up, you really can't. You don't have the option to not get it fixed, right? Whereas coaching, I don't have to show up for that one, or I don't have to pay for that particular month or whatever. So I like the stuff that where it's necessary type services.
Yeah.
Well, if you can help those people get that, like and anything it's in the range of 200, 500 and up, that kind of service, then
hmm
it's worth it for them to go and chase those leads down and pay a little more for that lead acquisition. So
Makes sense.
yeah, it's just the way I like it. So
I got another question though, but see, as a new copywriter, and who you believe has confidence in his skills, even though he never closed a client before. Like as a business owner, would you feel comfortable letting that person on your business to see what they have in store and how they can generate leads?
um I mean everybody kind of has to start at some point, you know. I mean it's you got to
Go
just like
outside, knock on doors in your local
yeah,
community, do it for free for 5 people,
yeah.
and build your
Going
testimonials and case studies.
go hit like the Chamber of Commerce a little bit or some of the networking groups. And
Mm-hmm.
there's lots of local networking groups where you can join and you know, they have weekly meetings and stuff like that. So you can go and just you know, kind of build relationships and network with people and get referrals.
Mm-hmm.
And so you'll find out pretty quick, you know, who needs help, that sort of thing. So if somebody does, yeah, like Dan said, if somebody needs help with something, like, yeah, I can help you with that. Just jump on a Zoom and I'll show you how to do XYZ and spend 5, 10 minutes with them, that sort of thing. So, you know, kind of sucks that you got to do a little bit for free here and there, but you know,
No, no,
what's
it doesn't
what,
suck to me. I just actually
yeah.
want to get my foot in the door, you know?
Yeah, I mean, if you get in there and start talking to people and you know, get some referrals, that sort of thing. So, you know, people like your work and you know, they'll come back and use you again. Just make sure you don't do too much free stuff. So, because
Yeah,
you
Another
that,
another
you
another
can do a
good
lot
one
of free
locally
Zooms.
is a group called Meetup. You can create a profile on Meetup and then plug in like your zip code and find other local networking meetings.
wait, repeat
I
Are,
that.
would right now be out there trying to talk to as many people as you can.
Can you
are
repeat
there
that?
any
Meetup. MEETUP. I think it's
Oh,
meetup.com.
Yep.
just put in
are
my
there
zip
any
code.
Yeah, you can create an account and like put in like your city or zip code. Like I'm in Philadelphia, so I see all the meetings for like greater Philadelphia and I can pick and choose like, how many I want to go to. And then like some of them have like groups that or technically you can follow the meetings to see like if it's a free meeting. Some are on Zoom, some are in person. Dude, if you see an in-person one, go. Because here's the thing at the in-person, right? Like you could be sitting down next to me or to Pat, and after you show up for like 2 meetings, and like I don't know anything about your work, right? But after like 2 meetings, we, had a cup of coffee together. I'm like, hey, he's a good kid. I know somebody that might give you a shot. You know what I'm saying? So
I
you
know what you're
start to
saying.
just kind of like, it's like building like a separate friend network. You call it your professional friend network.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And like, that's where you're going to find, like, you get to the meeting, you stand up and say, hey, this is what I do. I'm looking for, new clients. If anybody needs help, I'm willing to do a little bit of work for free to prove myself. If you guys know anybody, people will, if you say that, I think a lot of places, a lot of people will be like, all right, hey, I know somebody, for free, everybody's going to take a shot. And
Oh
like
yeah.
Wait,
Pat said, you don't do too many. But if you get in the room where other people are there to talk about their business, like it's just the kind of the environment, like where it's like, they're going to try to help you talk about your business.
that's true.
Yeah. And you
Man,
never know, the person you might be sitting next to might say, hey, I go to another networking meeting over here. Come to that one. It's not like you got a bunch of meetings every day, right? Do you have another job?
yeah, I have a job.
Okay. So if you're working like, some of the meetings are like, during the daytime, I don't know if that makes it hard to get to, but try to get to them, you
Yeah, I
know?
definitely will.
you can ask questions in Chat GPT and it'll give you all of the networking advice and it'll give you all the, you have to keep asking questions, but it'll give you everything in your area. And you can even ask per specific zip codes instead of having to search everything online. Like, do you have an elevator pitch?
Repeat that. Elevator
Do
pitch?
Yep.
Yes.
What is an elevator pitch?
It's like your
That's what you need to ask Chat GPT. There's a whole world you need to learn and then go to a meeting tomorrow. And really one of the best things I'm not really into the networking thing anymore because I did it for years. But go to a meeting every day. There's a meeting 7 a.m. somewhere. When
So
do
your
you work?
elevator pitch is when you get to the meeting and they give you the chance to introduce yourself. You're gonna say, "Hey, I'm Brian." You need to have that or let's say they give you 40 seconds. You need to be able to in 40 seconds spit out what you do and make it sound
Yeah.
like you're good at it.
I understand.
Yeah.
So I'm fresh, and I would love to test it out and let you guys rate it.
Yeah.
So, good day, guys. I'm Brian Russell. I'm a direct response copywriter. I can also be a creative strategist. And
Now you see the issue.
Yeah.
I see
So
the
usually,
issue.
usually
So
what
let
you do
me,
with an elevator pitch is that you don't want to tell people what you do. You want to tell people what problems you solve for them. So like when I basically when people ask me what I do, is like I get your business on the map, literally on the maps, and I turn your Google profile into a revenue machine that drives customers. And they go, "Oh, okay." I don't go like I do optimization, I do reviews, I do all this because then they just like their eyes glaze over and they don't care. They're just like, "How can you help me?" And I'm telling them this is what I do for you. I make this stuff happen for you. That's what I do.
right. And at the end, you'd say, and I help local businesses, or I help coaches, or I help coaches and companies that need branding and copywriting. You see what I mean?
I
You
see
put
what you mean.
exactly what you do. Very short because they're not going to remember it. Like if you go on and on, they're just going to be like, I don't know, he does technical stuff.
Yeah, and they're gonna lose attention span.
Like if you're copywriting, you like, look, I make words sing, and I make people want to buy what you have.
Yeah,
There you go.
here's an example, right? Let's say there's a plumber in the room or a roofer, right?
Hmm.
And he might have like a GoDaddy website that says like I do roofs, right? That's the content that he has on his website.
That's vague.
Yeah, but you could look at a local guy like that and be like, "Yo, I'm a copywriter. Okay, what that means is I can take the copy, the words on your website, and make them sound a whole lot better." So that it's optimized a little bit better online, shows up in search better, and hits your key areas. You know, would you be up for me putting some copy together? And if you like it, you can keep it for free. And just in the next meeting, you got to say, "Yo, Brian hooked my website up with this brand new copy." But you could take your elevator pitch like you just gave us, throw it into Chat GPT and say, "Hey, how do I make this more problem solving oriented?" You got to practice it. It takes a while.
Well,
Yep.
yeah, I
Yeah.
definitely do need to practice it.
Yeah, don't get discouraged if you don't have it in a week. It takes a little while. But again, go to these meetings, right? And you'll know the guy in the room that's got the best elevator pitch if you pay attention.
There's not
So,
too many of them. You'll know.
No.
so I go to
But the
meetup.com.
guy that has the really good elevator pitch, right?
Hmm.
And is like really smooth and like knows what he's doing, make sure you go talk to him and tell him like, "Yo, man, like I'm just starting out. How'd you get so good at your pitch?" He'll tell you.
Is it just confidence?
Well, it's
No.
confidence, but also here's the thing. Like a lot of times when you go ask somebody to like, "Hey, how did you get good at what you do? Like you're so good at that." They're like, "Oh, he wants me to talk about myself. I'll take that opportunity to talk about myself and tell him how good I am." And then he feels like he's your friend, and then that's how like you can be like, "Yo, this is what I'm trying to do. Got any ideas for how I can get my name out there and, get some people to give me a shot?" You listen to him brag about himself. Now you're like, "Hey, man, could you help me?" Like he could tell you, "No, I have to get out of my face." The likelihood that that's going to happen is no. So you got to just keep continuing to build. Like you don't know where that connection is going to come from. Because if you go out right now and put like up on LinkedIn, like, "Hey, I'm a copywriter," well, so is everybody else on LinkedIn. Or like, but if you go out in your local community, right?
Hmm.
And those guys are like, they see your face a couple times at the meeting, like you're going to get a shot from somebody in the room, and you don't know what that's going to turn into.
Man,
Sucks
thanks
in
for
the
that. I
beginning.
never
You just
thought
got
of
to
that
do it,
before.
Yep.
So the thing I was trying to ask was, do you know any business owners right now? Like
Yeah, I do.
like a maid, like a hairdresser, a beautician school. Like, do you know anybody now?
Wait, when you said that, I'm not thinking about like foot businesses, like we can go foot traffic.
I mean, it really doesn't matter. Like brick and mortar, local service people, anybody that does,
Yeah, yeah, I know
coaching and stuff like
people.
that.
I
Yeah.
know,
Okay,
I
who
know
do you know?
coaches, copyright. I know Mannix just saw something like that. Mannix.
What is a Mannix?
Oh, that's his name. That's my coach who's teaching me copywriting.
No,
He's
I
a
mean, do you know a business, a real business?
I'd have to say no.
Okay, so you've never bought clothes, you've never had your hair done, you've never had your feet done.
Never had my feet done.
Do you know anybody who's had their feet done?
Yeah, my mom, my sister.
Okay, so they know business owners that you could go and talk to. Hey, I'm, whatever, Monica's son, da 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 da, and I'm starting a business and I'm willing to do some things for free. I'm an expert in branding, I'm an expert in copywriting. Do you have a website I can look at, brochures, what like I want to help people and I want to get like a testimonial,
Testimonial.
a case study. I just want to have some proof of how I help people. So
Right.
that's another way because they're not going to just slam the door in your face, right? Because I can't imagine you being less than 10 years old and not knowing a business owner. Like you haven't thought of it yet, but you know a ton of business owner, the people who do pest control for your house or in the neighborhood, maybe a roofer, maybe a plumber. Have you guys ever had a plumber? You've never had plumbing in your entire life? Yeah. But I mean, you see what I'm saying? Like you have to start thinking about this circle of people you know and the people that you know, the people that they know. That's called your sphere of influence. This is a basic network thing to know about. So you can, Google that or whatever and figure out and write it all down or put it in ChatGPT or whatever, but get a list of all kinds of people that you know, right? Because they're going to be nicer to you, but also they're going to tell you what it is they need and what they don't need. Does that make sense?
Yes, that makes sense. And thank you for that because one thing I do realize that I'm missing is proof. It's proof that I can do anything, you know? I
Yeah,
know that
you'll
I
you'll get
can.
it. It's just a little bit of experience. You'll get it for sure. So cool. Well, with that, I think we're gonna go. Gosh, we've been like hour and 45 minutes. So, all right,
Sorry for
we'll
dragging
finish
y'all
with that,
time.
man. All right. Well, nice to
Thanks.
meet you,
Thanks for all
Brian.
your
And
time.
welcome to the group and stuff. So, we will see everybody next week.
Next week this
All
time.
right. Yep. Chat you guys later.